Myth number 1. The Islamic Golden Age was mostly about religion, not science. Reality. Rulers funded entire research institutions, translators, mathematicians, physicians, astronomers, treating scientific knowledge as seriously as military strength. Faith and scientific inquiry weren't competing. They ran side by side, in the same buildings, funded by the same people, sometimes for nearly 4 centuries without interruption. Myth number 2. Europe carried science forward on its own after Rome fell. Reality. While parts of Europe lost access to classical texts almost entirely, scholars in the Islamic world were preserving, translating, and expanding Greek, Persian, and Indian knowledge, correcting errors, adding original commentary, and pushing the ideas further before any of it flowed back into Europe and helped ignite its own renaissance centuries later. Myth number 3. Algebra was a European invention. Reality. The word itself comes from Arabic, Algebra, from a book written by Khwarizmi. He didn't just contribute to the field. He formalized the systematic, step-by-step methods that still define how algebra is taught today. Methods so foundational that entire branches of modern mathematics trace directly back to his original framework. Myth number 4. Hospitals as organized institutions started in modern Europe. Reality. The Islamic world was running structured hospitals, called bimaristans, with specialized wards for surgery, mental health, and infectious disease, offering free treatment regardless of who you were, centuries before Europe organized medicine this way. Some of these institutions operated continuously for hundreds of years. Myth number 5. Women had no real presence in early scientific work. Reality. Documented female scholars existed in highly technical fields, including precision instrument engineering, like the astrolabe work of Maryam al-Astrolabi, building tools accurate enough for serious astronomical and navigational use, even though most of their names never made it into the textbooks you grew up with. We're halfway through, and here's the one that might genuinely surprise you the most, because it's not about a fact you were taught wrong. It's about an entire piece of everyday technology hiding in your car right now. Myth number 6. Modern surgery developed independently in Europe. Reality. Zahrawi documented over 200 surgical instruments and wrote the first fully illustrated surgical manual in history. A text so detailed it was translated into Latin and used in European medical training for roughly 500 years, shaping generations of surgeons who never knew where the techniques originated. Myth number 7. Robotics is a 20th century invention. Reality. Jazari built functioning programmable automata in the 1200s, water-powered machines that performed the same sequence of actions on command, including an automated musical device. The core idea behind programming logic existed 800 years before computers did, documented in enough detail that others could replicate his machines. Myth number 8. The scientific method, testing ideas through experiment and observation, began in Renaissance Europe. Reality. Ibn al-Haytham was applying rigorous, evidence-based experimentation to the study of optics centuries earlier, and many historians consider his approach one of the clearest early examples of the scientific method in practice, built on testing, not just theorizing. Myth number 9. The camera is a purely modern invention with no ancient roots. Reality. Ibn al-Haytham's work explaining how light passes through a small opening to project an image laid the actual scientific groundwork that photography, and eventually cinema, would later be built on. Principles still taught in optics courses today. Myth number 10. And here's the biggest one. Myth. None of this really changed the world you live in today. Reality. Right now in your car, the crankshaft converting engine motion into rotational power runs on a mechanism Jazari engineered centuries before automobiles existed. Every time that engine turns over, it's still running on his solution, quietly, without anyone in the car ever thinking about it.